Hey, welcome back to World Entertainment, and this weekend's box office is in. Not the full thing, because of course Monday in the States will be put in because it's Memorial Day weekend, so they have a long weekend. But we have from Thursday to Sunday's numbers, and it's not looking good. The funny thing is, though, the reaction to all of this not looking good, where people are saying, oh, it's the end of films and it's the end of cinema and everything else. Like this headline that came out prior to the movie's weekends coming out, saying Furiosa up in smoke with 31 million to 33 million. Lowest Memorial Day opening in decades. Might get clawed by Garfield. How worried should Hollywood be about theatrical? So you hear them there talking about, the cinemas are in trouble and stuff like that. What are the numbers though for these movies? Well, so far domestically for Furiosa, it's definitely not looking good, because as it stands, it's only at $25.5 million. Now, of course, the Monday number will have to be added into that because, again, that's a long weekend. But it's looking like it's going to actually come in possibly under what they were predicting, which the maximum I think they were aiming for was 35 million. It looks like it may come in under that. Internationally, it only did $33.3 million. So as it stands, its worldwide total is $58.8 million. Not particularly great, especially for a movie that's the reported budget, I believe, is $160 to $170 million. So it's not looking great. As for Garfield, things weren't looking much better for Garfield, which domestically only has 24.7 million. So it's only just behind Furiosa. Internationally, however, it's at $66.3 million. So it's destroyed Furiosa internationally for a worldwide box office total of $91 million. And it should be noted as well that its Sunday number did beat Furiosa. It pulled in on Sunday 8.1 million, while Furiosa on the Sunday only managed 7 million. So that's quite interesting there. As for It, the Ryan Reynolds led movie, which dropped, this is its second weekend, but this thing is an absolute disaster at the box office everywhere. So domestically, after 2 weeks, it's now only standing at 58.6 million domestically, and it's only got 40 million internationally, for a worldwide box office of 98.6 million. As for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which of course I did a video a while ago about them wanting to make it a 9-movie saga, and they were hoping, they were like, oh, we're up to 4, we hope to get more movies down the line. This thing is not doing well at all at the box office. So again, this is on its third weekend, and it's only managed to pull in domestically $122.8 million. Internationally, it's only got $172 million. For a worldwide total after 3 weeks of $294.8 million. And again, this movie needs to pull in something in the region of 500 to break even. So it's not looking good for that movie. But then you're looking at them all asking the questions, oh, what's going on? Why is it all failing? Why aren't people going to the cinemas anymore? And they're going from, let's blame COVID, which every now and again they're still trying to do. We've seen Bob Iger try that with the Marvels. They're now also trying to blame the strikes. Oh, the strikes have caused people not to go and see movies. Why would strikes cause people to stop going to the movies? Yous went on strike. Hollywood went on strike, but movies were still in the cinema. People were still going to see them. How can you possibly say, oh, it's the strike's fault? Oh, it's Hollywood fatigue fault? No, there's certain movies that people are just looking at going, no, that's not for me. Like, you're putting out a Mad Max movie that doesn't have Mad Max in it. How do you expect that to be this gigantic success when you're sitting there saying all these movies are failing, and yet at the same time you had the likes of Godzilla x Kong New Empire smashing records for the Monsterverse? It's almost at 600 million worldwide. Movies like Barbie and Oppenheimer, you know, Barbie smashing $1 billion, Oppenheimer almost smashing $1 billion. But all these type of movies, you know, Top Gun Maverick smashing it as well. All these other type of movies that were absolutely killing it. And then you get the movies that just failed, and failed horribly. But why? Like The Fall Guy, you're looking at people trying to convince them to go and see a movie based on a TV show from the 70s. There is so many people who've never heard of The Fall Guy. And if you were like me when you first saw the original trailer for that movie, you were sitting there going like, what the hell did I just see? I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. So you're not convincing people to go and see that. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. This is insane for a movie like this. I don't know what it was like in the States, but this side of the ocean, the pond as they like to say, there's been next to no promotion for this. Like, there hasn't been trailers here, there and everywhere on TV. Not that I've been seeing. So you weren't really advertising this movie all that great. I haven't seen one single advert anywhere, even on YouTube, for the Garfield movie. So much so, I had no idea that this movie was even out until I start looking at the box office numbers. That's crazy. Fall Guy, of course, is already on video on demand. You've already pretty much pulled that. And a lot of new releases as well are kind of just half them you've never heard of, and they're kind of just being dropped in here, there and everywhere. It's still crazy to think that they are trying to blame all these other things. Why aren't people going to see these movies? Well, why don't you stop writing shit? Start writing something people want. Don't write a movie and put a movie out there that's going to lecture people or tell people. Like, how do you sit there and say, oh, these movies aren't for you, and then when no one goes to see it, go, why didn't you go and see that movie? So you told us not to go and see it. It's not for us. It's the same thing with the Doctor Who situation. Ncuti Gatwa, Russell T Davies, Jinx Monsoon, all these idiots were out going, don't watch it. We don't want you. Go away. We want the new audience. It's not for you anymore. And when people didn't watch it, and they went out and touched grass like Ncuti Gatwa told them to do, what's the first thing they did? They turned around and said, oh, it's so sad that the fans are racist and bigoted and homophobes and transphobes and all this, and wouldn't tune in to watch. No. You put your terms out for people not to watch it, and your terms were accepted. The same thing is here with these movies. You're kind of alienating a lot of the fans. Now, the irony is the Garfield movie, from what I understand, is critics hate it. But then I'm hearing people saying, who've seen it, saying it's actually okay, it's pretty decent, and there's a good father-son kind of relationship story in there. Which is probably why critics hate it, because let's face it, critics hate a good father. If is very much like the Garfield movie. Not a single trailer has been released over here that I've seen. I have not seen a trailer for that movie at all. I didn't even know what the hell it was until you're looking into it and you're like, it's an imaginary friend. Why didn't you just call it then an imaginary friend? Why did you call it If? From what I understand, it's not meant to be great, but it's not meant to be terrible. Whatever. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was the one that I had said everyone was pretty much saying that it was boring. And if it didn't get good word of mouth, it was going to be in trouble. And you're seeing that. And that's the other issue for Hollywood right now, is if you're putting out garbage and you get that wave of people going in and watching it and they walk away saying, yeah, Jesus, no, don't go and see it. It's boring, it's garbage, it's trash, whatever. You're going to turn people off who are going to say, oh, I'll just wait until it's on streaming then. You're also killing your business model by taking your movies and basically having the mindset of, oh well, if it fails, we'll just dump it onto a streaming service. Like, Universal just pulled The Fall Guy and dumped it on a streaming service. Why? So you're kind of doing a kind of, well, if it's not working out the way we want to do, we're just going to pull it and stick it on our streaming service. Where the other studios just aren't pushing their movies at all. They're kind of just putting it out there and hoping for the best. So no, there's no fatigue for the movies. People are willing to go to the movies. They just want good movies to go and see. They don't want to be watching girl bosses all the time. They don't want to be having to be told, oh, if you don't see this movie, it's because you're racist all the time. They don't want to be told you're a homophobe if you don't watch this particular type. No, they just want to be entertained. They want to be able to go in, sit down, turn off real world situations, and just be entertained for a couple of hours. And that is another thing they really need to do. Get them run times down. All these movies don't need to be 2 hours and 2.5 hours long. Why? Especially half these movies where people are going, it's, from what I'm told, I haven't looked at Furiosa yet. I don't really want to, because I hated Fury Road, and I have no interest in a Mad Max movie without Mad Max. But from what I'm told and hear from all the reviews, though, the first 40 minutes of that movie is 10-year-old Furiosa. It's not like you're spending a couple of minutes with a flashback of young Furia, and then you're up with Anna Taylor-Joy as Furiosa. No, 40 minutes of that movie are with this 10-year-old version of Furiosa. Who wants to watch that? It's so strange. And there's people who are enjoying it. I've seen more people saying they don't particularly like it. They don't outright hate it, but they don't particularly enjoy it. Hollywood needs to just pull their head out of their ass and get back to actually entertaining people, and stop preaching. Stop promoting your streaming services more than you're trying to promote your actual movie to be put in the cinemas. Because the cinemas who are suffering, not Hollywood. It's literally build it and they will come. Put out a good movie and people will go and see it. And again, word of mouth is everything. You will find out when it comes to Deadpool and Wolverine. If they put that thing in and word of mouth comes out of, ooh, they dropped the ball on this one, you're going to see that movie flop. And then, of course, you'll hear the, superhero fatigue, which could play a part in it. But, again, just put something decent out there and people will probably go and see it. Because their arguments are flawed when they're saying these things aren't working, and yet Top Gun Maverick made money, Godzilla x Kong made money, Barbie and Oppenheimer made money. There's other movies out there that you didn't expect to make money and made money. So, you kind of just stop preaching and stop doing the whole identity politics and stuff. Put out a decent movie, and the box office numbers will result in a decent movie. So, with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.